this video to show you the flexibility that I have working with AWS. I think this is going to give us, it could give us a good benefit and advantage for the deployment because it works with the cloud and we will have less time to build the environment, etc., etc. And it's a serverless backend. And this is an architecture that I have. And also we have an administration part that is going to give you a lot of benefits, like working with the group user and groups and permissions. And you can create categories like administration, clients, and developers, and more, of course. And each of them will have access to different parts of the console and services. And the Amplify console, this is an environment that makes you work with the connected to the repositories. In this case, Bitbucket, the front end, I will say, and the back end will be in the serverless backend with the AWS system, working with the DynamoDB and other services that are very easy to configure. And maybe you can set up like a special team, or just to develop a real nice proof of concept. Like right now, I know what it needs to be done. For example, some users and some attachment perhaps. And just to show you a little bit more inside of the Amazon, not to wait too much time, I want to make this really, really quick. I'm logging in as the root user, but as you saw, there is the I am user available too. And here we can see all the services that I'm using, like the database and the authorization, etc. But something that I wanted to show you is that you can also configure this for administration or member states, and you can have the billing dashboard, and it's going to tell you what has been used and the amount of consumption and usage of your application. And you can set up budgets and budget reports and saving plans and cost and usage reports. So I think this will give you like a really nice, power to show like the application and the infrastructure that the application is running behind. And this is the administration part. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the services that I have and how my applications are running. So the main one that I use is the Amplify. And the Amplify console, it's so flexible and easy to configure that to connect an application, you only need to be on your repository. So we have Bitbucket, right? Of course, in my case, I have the GitLabs, but it's the same. It will just find the repository, and then you will just choose the branch, and you can add multiple branch, of course, or a mono repo. So there's a lot of a lot of options to just have the environment as you want. And besides that, once you have the environment, the front end, you can create backend environment from here, from the application, from the console, I mean, and you have access to an API, to authentication, to analytics, and to file services or storage services. That this is basically what we have and what we need, and it's very easy to configure. For example, you go to the service of we go to the AppSync, and this is what it's going to sync the database with the API. And to create your database schema, you just have to create the schema. And for example, I have this comment with event schema. And in this case, we could just be like submission, for example, right? And here another one, like users or something, or attachments. And then we can just do attachment connections, things like this, John. But anyways, so we just need to define the schema. We export the schema, we save the schema, and the database and the tables are gonna be created in this console based on what you define here. And then we're gonna have access to an API in the cloud. So as developers, we will only need to come to the GitLab or to the Bitbucket in the case and clone the application and do the node inside, and you are good to go. You are running. So yes, that's what I wanted to show you, and that's why I made the diagram here. So you have the infrastructure, the permissions, the categories, the different services. Of course, this needs to be amplified, but this is just a beginning. And then you have the development part that we have the front end, the back end. We have different pipelines and a serverless application. Let me know what you think, John.